day 201 of 365 days of making art. This is going to be an extensive look into my life. I've now done it for 200 days straight, consisting of working on my independent comic. I never forgot about a drifter wanting to accomplish one last goal before he could pass along happily, and I will stop saying that because this is no longer just strictly about comics, but I am going to strive to work on art for at least some time out of the day. Art has affected me in such incredible ways over the span of my entire life, but I feel like the last couple years it's really come into focus. And with that, what got me back into this world of art was when I started painting a couple years ago. And I haven't worked on the comic at all today. I meant to finish up the preview pages, but I started painting and I started losing track of time, and it just felt incredibly wonderful. I have a series that I'm working on right now, and I wish I had the first and the second one with me, but those are hanging uptown for the art show that's going to be happening in a month. We're 1 month away from that. Jeez Louise. That was literally me just coming to that entire notion. So these next few days you're going to see me working on this new painting. I just started it today. I actually started painting over a painting I was already working on, but it was way below my skill these days. And when I say that, when I started working on this last year, right around May, so it's been sitting around for about a year and a half now. I was going to collaborate with an artist, and I was going to do one half of a painting, he was going to do another half, and then we were going to do that for two separate paintings, and then we'd decide which one we were going to keep, but we'd make prints of it and sell those. When I first started it, I think he designed his half of mine, and then just kind of didn't go anywhere with it. I pushed and got my side painted, and I really wish I would have taken a picture before I painted over it, but it was time to say goodbye to it. It was this dragon hanging off a cliff, and I guess I could have painted to have it overlooking a castle or anything, but it was kind of a failed project, so it was time to say adios to it. Which I started working on the next of my Universal Monsters painting series. It started with Bela Lugosi's Dracula, a classic scene from that movie. I took the black and white and just added color to it pretty much, and kind of put my own touch, and kind of really whitewashed the monster, kind of taking away all the really dark tones to kind of give him more life than he would normally have, I guess. So it started with Dracula. The second painting was Frankenstein and the bride embracing each other and kissing. And the third one I was working on this year. It's called The Glance Behind. It's the Wolfman and Little Red Riding Hood. I just thought that was a sweet concept to do. And if you notice, along the edge, I have a little saying. and it kind of ties into the painting itself. Well, it definitely ties into the painting itself. But along this edge, it says, "Sometimes the scary thing isn't behind us, but it's what's in front of us that we should fear." And it's called "The Glance Behind." Um, and I just think it's so poignant to, you have these scary things that we're taught to fear, and sometimes those things aren't necessarily the things we should be fearing. I was talking to a friend the other day, when I know I was working on coloring one of the pages the other day for my comic, and out of the blue, this concept for Mummy came up, and I quick sketched it out. Got some reference together of Boris Karloff, and I forget the chick's name, but I have about 3 or 4 pictures of her on my phone that I'm using as reference to get her look just perfect, because I started looking up reference, and she's an absolute bombshell. I think Mummy is the only one that I haven't watched of the great Universal classic horror movies. I am definitely going to, before the art show, but I caught the trailer, a synopsis, watched a couple videos just because I couldn't find it online so I could watch it. So I kind of did my research that way. I would love to find it and watch it. It's probably going to take some doing to do, but I am going to power on. But the concept came to me, and I just had to do it. All these paintings that I've done, really the edging that I write around it really sets it off and really softens the monsters more than anything. And I got to talking to my friend about it, and of course the Mummy is getting his head wrapped, and its nickname is Bandages, just because that's the placeholder. I don't come up with the title till somewhere near the end of it, and then that will spawn the edging that I'll write around the edge. And so Bandages is what it is right now, and it's basically the Mummy being wrapped up. And I know Bandages has been a thing of the past, because in the second issue, I actually talk about this Bleeding Night design, and where I always will be there for my friends, as long as they're willing to bandage me up after I get done fighting fights for them. And that's so poignant, and I don't want to reveal too much about the painting, but we got into this big talk about these monster paintings that I've been doing, and this is a conversation that we had. Was my friend told me how much she loved how all the monsters I'm painting portray love and affection instead of scariness. And I just, right off the top of my head, responded to her. I was like, it's easy to fear something because we've been trained our whole life to, but it's another to strive to love everything, even if those things are feared by everyone else. And I think that's so poignant. It's definitely not going to be the edging around Bandages, but it's just so lovely a title. Just really made me start thinking about it, and I'm really excited, and I'm really loving painting this one. Considering I have to have it done for the art show in a month, I'm really going to be pushing these next few days to get it done. I'm hoping that I can get it done in the next couple days. Give it a couple days to dry so I can get it up to my printer who will handle scanning it all in, making prints of it on some sweet archival rag. And if you order prints from me, they are the highest quality you can probably get. I know when I started getting prints made by him, I asked him if we could possibly go for a little cheaper paper, a little cheaper ink for printing, and he's like, if that's the way you want to go about this, I'm not the printer for you. And ever since that moment, I mean, he has nailed all these paintings and the prints. It's hard to portray them in a picture on the internet, but like seeing them in person is something completely different. If you watch the the first run, the early hundreds, I'm sitting with this setup, but I have prints in the background. He's the one that printed those, and like I really wish I could stress how well they have turned out every single time. I am infatuated with how he makes them look. He's been in the business for about 25 years, knows all kinds of tricks to get the colors just perfect looking, tweaking colors, giving them the depth that they need, just so they look like the paintings have motion to them. It's just a wild, wild ride. So yeah, I'm going to be working on the mummy painting for sure for the next few days. Hopefully I can get that knocked out by the end of the week so I can get it up to him this weekend. So he has it for about a week. It's typically a week turnaround time for me to drop him off and then go pick up prints. So having him that early would be nice. Because the convention is not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. So after that, I'll have the first pre-show art show, and then it'll be the art show after that. So yeah, that's what's going to basically be the beginning of this week. I'm going to be keeping track of my hours, seeing how long it's taking me to complete it. I think Wolfie took about 25 hours, so I think probably Mummy should hopefully take right around 20. That being said, I probably have 3, maybe 4 into them right now. So when I said I'm going to keep track, I'm obviously starting off on the right foot and keeping very good track. So yeah, that's what's going on. With these next 150 days to clear out this whole year, a lot of good things are coming from it. I'm going to be setting up the next Kickstarter for issue 4 of my comic book. I'm not going to be throwing those out every time. The description is going to change up a bit after, considering this is day 201 of making art every day for a year. But I'm not going to be pushing my comic so hard. I'm going to be linking to my actual Big Cartel site from time to time, but I'm going to get a store set up where I can sell my prints and stuff too. I've been thinking about doing Etsy, but I don't know. Something about Etsy I just don't like. I think I like my Big Cartel a little bit better, but I don't know if people trust Big Cartel as much. I find it to be much easier to use just because you can accept PayPal or credit cards, whatnot. So that's where that's sticking right now. I'm also going to be doing a video showing the process of putting together a submission for Comixology. Since I just got done talking to a few people on Twitter, finding a few new people, and basically finding the Comixology Submit crew and getting some answers from them. It's and seeing other artists ask them questions and help being able to toss out some advice as well has been very eye-opening to see how much I've actually come these last 200 days for sure. Sorry for the jostling. One last thing I want to throw out. I'm going to be throwing a link for an interview with Chris Oatley. He was just on ArtCore interview, and one of the last things he had to say is, I'm going to end this video with a quote, because he said, this is one of his favorite quotes. He says, "The point of storytelling is not to show people who you are, but to show who we are as people. As a storyteller, you are a servant of your story, not the master. You must do what it requires, not what you want it to do. And you must remove your ego from it. Art is not to show people who you are, but it is to show people who they are." I think that's extremely poignant and just made today wonderful. Today was already wonderful, completing the 200 days and putting out that huge video yesterday. I apologize for 45 minutes. I don't think I'll be getting that near that anytime soon. I'll probably have a couple 30-minute editors coming up, but I definitely will try and stay away from 45 minutes. Unless you're into that. If you like the 45-minute video, throw some comments down below and maybe I'll hook some up and we can get those worked out. But that's going to do it for me today. A big, huge thanks to Kevin Cross again for the 100 days of making comics, starting that whole thing, and being a part of it was huge. Not only giving me a structure and better habits for making art, but getting me fully immersed in this world of art that I'm so appreciative to be a part of. I just was BSing with Oatley on Twitter, and I think he's been fighting a couple people today on social media, just because I think people are taking what he's trying to get across a little too seriously. But oh well. Kevin Cross mentioned me on his Facebook page too, and it was extremely exciting, and I'm so honored to, I feel like I'm actually part of something bigger right now. Just because the 100 days have done that to me. But yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of the rest of this year and beyond. I'm pretty excited for 2016, but we still have a couple months left in 2015, and this year has been one incredible ride so far, and I'm not expecting it to slow down anytime soon. After this, I'll throw a couple pictures down of the progress of the Mummy right now. I'm excited to show you more of that, and of course the thumbnail is where it rests right now. So appreciate everything you guys have done so far. Comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, I suppose. If you like these videos, let me know what you like about them, what you want, what you don't like about them. Maybe I'll get some things changed around. But yeah, I appreciate it all, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.